What up, guys? That Comic Awesome here doing another review, doing Mr. Miracle number 8. And I know I ragged issue 7 a little hard because of the way I feel Scott would have handled Barta's labor and birth of their son. I have taken all of that back, kind of going through that situation a lot. Some of it I still would have handled differently, but there were some parts to where I felt, yeah, I get it now. And now being a new parent, reading this book, I go, I get it. There's a lot of levels in here, and I mean, I can only see the levels that I see. If anybody else picks up on something that I miss or misinterpret, let me know down in the comments. But so far, kind of the now second half of this series has really focused less on, I would say, kind of the Mr. Miracle himself. The series started out with him trying to kill himself. Then it became that the High Father died. Orion became High Father. There was a war with Apocalypse. Orion was killed, making Scott the High Father. And so now he's continuing on this war against Apocalypse. In that, Barta, his wife, became pregnant and has given birth. It is the first kind of child of both New Genesis and Apocalypse. So it's kind of a little bit of a big deal. But in the same time, he's also juggling being a parent and waging war. And that's what this deals with. And the layer that I get on this is the emotions of a parent that is going back to work. And I get that because being a parent who just went back to work after my son was born, I get it. I get a lot of this stuff. So it starts off kind of again with an intro about how Apocalypse is and stuff like that, and Scott again being not only the High Father but kind of the general of this army. He has to go from being a soldier on the field and again kind of doing these like atrocious acts to then being a parent. And the way that Barta and Scott have kind of split up the parenting is they split days. One day you're on the battlefield, the next you're home parenting. And I kind of like this Stan Lee-esque character. They don't say it's Stan Lee, but I mean, he says Excelsior right here. It's might as well be Stan Lee, but his name's Funky. But it kind of even starts off with like this guy, and he's like talking about how Barta makes Jack's bottle, and he's like, oh, like why don't you just use the kettle? It's faster. And he's like, well, I don't want to use the kettle. I want to use the microwave. And he's like, well, Barta uses the kettle. And he's like, well, Barta's on the front lines, and I'm at the microwave, so I'm going to do it this way. So it's kind of that struggle of how. How you and your wife can do things different. But there's also this like creepy, like he's singing, singing a lullaby, and you get the distortion again that leads me to believe there's something more going on. And I think I figured it out. And when I show you the panel that I think I figured it out on, I'll let you know. So then again, you kind of get this like really good, like kind of bloody, he's heading into battle. Meanwhile, I like this too. So he's injured in battle. He gets shot in the leg. He gets shot in the leg here. He ends up still going into the fight, taking down a bunch of enemies. And then you have a medic, repairing his leg. He's obviously in a bunch of pain. There's this, I don't know what that face is. That's like the I'm pooping myself face. I don't know. But he's on the phone with Barta, and Barta, is having kind of the parenting conversation. And, like, he's, like, trying to be in that conversation, but you can tell he's in a lot of pain physically, and it's something mundane about how many hours their son slept, and how to try different things to get him to sleep more. And then he's like, back being the parent, and I like this, he looks in the crib and he's like, why is there a Batman in the crib? He's like, every kid has a Batman. He's like, you're not supposed to put stuff in the crib. The kid can, the kid can choke on it. It can kill, sudden infant death, which is true. You're not supposed to have anything in the crib. Don't put stuff in your kid's crib. But then I love this. He's like, Batman kills babies. And there's he's chewing on the Batman. I mean, that's probably right there the best panel ever. Batman kills babies. And then this, I like this page right here. It shows Scott being a leader, a lot more of a leader than I thought he was capable of. So he's having a conversation, and he's like, I can't remember who that is, but he's sitting here. He's like, look, this is all wrong. He's like, look, we don't have enough tubes to go the other way. We have to do it this way. And the guy says, you want to be Scott. He's like, Orion wouldn't do it this way. And he's like, well, Orion isn't, and Darkseid is. Get it done now. And he says, you want to be God, Scott, but you aren't just, but you're just playing another role on another stage. And you're sad everyone's not clapping. And he's like, look, just make it clean. So it's the fact that he doesn't back down. He can tell that he's not making the popular choice. And that can wear on a leader too, but he's not making the popular choice, but he goes with his gut and he tells his people to do it anyway. So this was the panel where I think I figured it out, or at least have an inkling of it. So they're at the park, and there's this, soccer mom there, being a millennial mom on her iPad, while I assume her kids are off playing on the playground. She's asking about Bart, just making chit chat or whatever. And he's like, yeah, we were gonna hire a nanny, but we just haven't stopped kind of being around yet, because what he's saying is like they were both going to go to Apocalypse to fight this war, and then have a nanny, watch Jack while they were away, like I guess during the day or whatever. Which, by the way, what an ugly looking, what old man baby is that? But he's like, it's tough, it's tough to leave him, but we should. And she says here, I know how that is. You get stuck in these things, and it's hard to get out. And Scott says, yeah, it is. So, Mr. Miracle is supposed to be the ultimate escape artist. You're supposed to be able to get out of anything. But right here, this is him proving that he can't get out of everything. This is now, he is trapped, and not bad, but he is trapped in this situation. And I mean, he's okay with that. And I think that's what this is about, is accepting that being trapped in a situation may not always be as bad as you think it is. And so I like that. I like that. Again, let me know what you guys think about that. Again, that's my opinion. That's what I got out of this. There's still some other really good stuff, kind of some comedy here, where like Barda had made a deal with one of the generals of Apocalypse that she would, one-on-one combat with them. But it happened to be the one-on-one combat was set on Scott's day, so he had to pretty much take on this guy, and he gets his ass whipped, and he pretty much is like, well, I guess we're leaving the field, but we'll be okay. And he's like, having to give that like speech of, well, this isn't kind of working, but it's okay. We'll just, try it again a different way. I like it. Again, I retract any negative review I said about issue 7. This issue, I totally get. And again, I think the deeper meaning in it is kind of starting to flower a little bit. But yeah, let me know what you guys think. Subscribe over here, watch some more videos, hit me up in the comments, let me know what you guys think, and I will see you next time.